Hey guys, Steve back. I made a little scene, and the textures are courtesy of Philogix PBE Painter Pro. It's a full multi-layer system, really cool. Got some tutorials on it. In fact, I have an entire collection on that. So working with Lightmagic 3.3 Studio, I'm in Blender 3.6 Alpha, latest version of Cycles light linking, May 5th. You can get this in any search engine. Click the cogwheel once you got it. Launch when system starts. You're good. Don't hit the X, hit the minus. Or you can always bring it back if the system crashes. It's so much easier. All right, so right straight away, I've got a point light in here behind the Suzanne, and you see it's registered. Now, if I was to hit H and hide this light and completely forgot about it, whatever, it ended up in some sort of collection somewhere, then I've got it listed here. I'll know about it. I also have an unhide all objects. It'll unhide everything. Woo! So if I hide that and this and hit unhide, it brings everything back for you. So now you can add lights, static, obviously. You can also add 3-point lights.
Wow.
And those 3-point lights, excuse me, that was the folder button. Right here, you can add a 3-point light to any object, and it's instantly going to show not only the light listed, which is tri-lamp, but inside of each one of these boxes now, which is the individual light functionality itself, you'll see the active object selected. So if you're trying to work on something, don't forget, you can hit the grab function, and you can instantly grab that light. I want to grab this light. I'll be able to see what I'm doing to it. So if I want to bring up something, that's all fine and good. Now, we're going to be using the Cycles light linking, and a couple of different things we want to do is let's set up a few things. So I'll add a position here for this, and then maybe I like a position over here as well, just to kind of throw a little light up from behind it. Something like that. And then I'll add that as a position. Now this could be position 1, and I'll hit enter to be position 2. And I can switch between these positions and light my scene accordingly. And now if I want to grab, make sure I've got that light, that's the one I've got, and I want to bring this light up just a little bit, I can do so. I kind of streamlined everything. I spent all day making this look a little better. Woo! Probably a lot better. Now nothing is scrunched up. You got your viewport, and for some reason it just wasn't working. I think I had a duplicate operator somewhere in there, but that's a lot of code to go. But I fixed everything. Looks real good. Got the active object here. Now when you switch between Eevee and Cycles, you will now see the caustic light and the use node for each one of these, so you could turn them into the appropriate setup that you want. And of course, we switch back to Eevee Engine. Those are gone. You will not see those. We'll need to be in Cycles for this, so we can go into light linking. And let's grab a couple of positions for this one. I'll turn the point line up, and if I did not have it grabbed, you'll see background is grabbed. Well, I'll grab this. Now point light is grabbed. I can go ahead and turn this up a touch. Maybe I want my original position to be something like that, just to shine behind the Suzanne a little bit. And we'll put a nice soft blue glow behind there. I think something like that's good. Let's just put it to 1000. Keep it nice and bordered even. Now I'll go ahead and add in the point light. I'll just call this point light position 1. And then I'll maybe take up a top view. And I want to bring this in a little closer because I need it that way for whatever reason. And I can add that point light position. Now position 2 is there. And this is going to be pretty important. You can see how the light is going to show on the other model as well. And I don't have to keep playing around and going back and forth. I can see how that's going to look. And then tri-lamp back 1 and 2, that's going to change some of the lighting as well. So it's going to give some light to the top, or it's going to give some light to the bottom. And you could name that back to bottom, whatever you want to do. And if you rename these, it does not break the hierarchy of the light. So that's all coded in. So you're more than welcome to change everything you want. Now, if I wanted to, say, grab a different view of the Suzanne, I'm going to come down here and I'll grab the Suzanne. I'll enter its position. and it just says 0, 1. I'll rotate this on the Z. Maybe I want it to come forward a little bit and add another position. And this would be 0.2, and this can be 0.1. You can name it however you want. So position 2, position 1, position 2, and then light 2 is going to change how that looks as well. And if I want a third position, it really doesn't matter. So I'll grab that light and bring this maybe in front. See, it kind of messed me up. Let's grab the light again and bring it down so I've got a different shadow. And I'll add that point light again. Now I want to make this point light 3, but it's kind of like it's out of the way. I might lose it or forget it's down there, right? So I can stretch this out a little bit, or I could just grab this and then shove this up under point light 3. So now you've got a nice organization. And then I can add the Suzanne back over here, whatever I want to do. I can grab point light 2 and check that out and see how it looks. Position 1, 2, point light 3. So you see you got a high level of organization here. Now, what you're going to do is grab every light in the scene. So you would select all lights, add them to a folder. And now you've got all your lights in a folder. Now from here, you want to grab your mesh, objects, and I could grab my background, my Suzanne, my mech, and my TIE fighter. Come in here and I could hit M. I was actually going to add another button for that, but you never know what people are going to have in the scene. So I'm just, you just add it. Add new collection. We'll call this mesh. That way it's identifiable very easily. Now what I want to do is I want to come over and I want to grab, and you got to do this with lights kind of individually. So I'm going to grab the point light here, go to the object properties, and if you're in cycles, you'll get light linking, and you can click new. And now I've got light linking for this, and I want to grab mesh objects. Now all the mesh objects are going to list right here under the point light. And now let's see if they changed it. I think they did change some of the stuff. So it doesn't show up with the little car anymore. At least I don't think it does. So what I could do is I can pull certain things out of the effect of the point light. All right, so first off, I'm going to go ahead and select all the lights and delete every single one of them. And I'm going to throw in a couple of different lights. I'll throw in an area light here and put that about there. That looks good. And I'll go ahead and throw in a spotlight, a point light actually, right about here. Looks good, as long as it's not inside my mesh anywhere. About right there looks good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn these up a little bit. The backlighting will be there, and then of course the point light, I think I'll make that like a nice light blue, and then turn that up just a touch. So we got some interesting accent lighting going on here. And I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of different folders. I'll put the monkey and the background in a folder. I'll just call that 1. And I'll put the battle mech and the TIE fighter in another collection. And I'll just call that 2. And what we can do is we can come over here and I'll grab this light. And this can actually get pretty complex. We'll just keep it kind of simple. I'll grab the area light here and I want to grab collection 1. It's got these 2 in it. And so let's go ahead and turn that to something like a nice dark blue. You can see what it is and or is not doing. Maybe switch it just a little bit. Actually looks kind of nice. I seem to always go for that color. There we go. Now we can tell what's going on. So now if you take the Suzanne and remove it it comes off. The light's not there. So Suzanne's no longer included in the area light. And then if I remove it from the background and then vice versa, you can see the effect. And so we can leave that one the way it is. And I'll just go ahead and grab the point light and I'll click new. And I'm going to grab folder number 2. And the TIE Fighter is going to be getting that red, apparently. And since I just associated that light now with that folder, the Suzanne is no longer getting any of that red light. And so let's see, the battle mech, it's going to be hard to see. Bring that intensity up so you can see it here. And then the battle mech is getting the red. Battle mech is not getting the red. So everything works very nicely. And then of course I can turn it off for both and it's going to do that. So yeah, you can isolate everything. Super cool. So as soon as I grab this other light, it switches back over. And so I can remove the Suzanne out, what I wouldn't actually, because it actually looks kind of good like that. And then I could just remove everything else. And then you've got that lighting the way it goes. So there you go. Put your mesh in a folder that you want to isolate. Grab that light. Do what you want to do with it. If you notice, I deleted all those lights, but this is all still here. The reason for that is that this literally is storing the lights. It's storing the data. It is a real-time position, location, rotation store. And on a side note, don't forget that when you've got these lights selected, and just have to grab it here. It's so much easier to do it with the grab inside the add-on. That when you have these over here, you'll end up with a lot of orphan data. It's very easy to get rid of all of this though. So just hit spacebar, search, type in purge, and then just left click on that. And I've got 18 unused data blocks. So when I purge that and come back over here, it's super clean. I've just got 1, 2, 3 collection mesh and then OCD temp, which is something else. And yeah, so that's how you get rid of all that clutter. And just a thought, if you don't have the 3D cursor at world origin, the light will not come in correctly. So that's just an option. It's just kind of the way it's set right now. So if you throw in a spotlight, it'll come in correctly. But if the 3D cursor is over here, you add a spotlight, it's going to come in like that. At an angle, which is fine. I mean, it could work too. But it's always better if you can kind of just have it the way you want it. And so I'll just test out one more and then I am out of here. You guys go play with this thing, go have fun, go pick up the Light Magic add-on, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial lesson.